Hey all, and this is the special Feast Mode 2 event. This is a Dark Slayer event and Arcane Killer. So before I talk through the teams, you may see there's a Gambit slot in the team. So Gambits will be coming pretty soon. They've not given too much information about Gambits recently, but yeah, they're still planned by the looks of it and will be coming. Now onto the actual team I'm using here. This is my main team. I haven't made up any other teams. I don't really have too many options, but this is a decent option. I recommend making something based around this if you can. So let's talk from left to right regarding the team. Metaverse Masters. This is a good card because it gives the next hero to use their battle skill a 150% damage buff. So that is used to boost up the Freedom Fighters, an old card but still one of the most effective cards in the game during Dark Slayer, mainly because of that bonus attack. Then we go across to Area. That's to give that lovely supercharged buff. It increases Immortal Killer attack by 2,500%. That's again to boost up the Freedom Fighters. Then Steadfast Sleuths again increases Dark Slayer attacks, so trying to boost up the Freedom Fighters again. Then finally, this is a very old card, Transformed Trailblazers. This is the only Dark Slayer Arcane Killer card, out of the Ultimate forms that I have, so I kind of need this for the killer skill. But it does increase Dark Slayer attack, even though it's one of those old cards that relies on skill points. It seems to create more power gems than it says as well. So it's not actually a bad card. But basically the idea behind this team is to try and get the Freedom Fighters to do as much damage as possible. Yeah, so because the Freedom Fighters nuke hits so hard, my recommended strategy, build your team to make the Freedom Fighters do as much damage as possible. So something similar to this. You'll need Metaverse Masters and Area, then you could probably swap out the other two cards for two better cards, especially if you have the current event deck, then one other Dark Slayer card to boost up the damage if you have it. But that's what I'm using anyway. Now onto the relics. I may swap out the first relic, as I don't think this breaks enough shields, unfortunately. But this is what I have to start with anyway. This is Almar's Scythe. Unfortunately, I still can't take it up to an enchanted Scythe. I'm missing that Light Skull. I'm hoping we'll have some sort of event for the Legend Relics at some point, just to get the skulls, and then this is what my relics look like. They're all general relics, apart from the last two, which are designed to break the shields. This one breaks 2 shields. This one breaks 2 shields. Go back to that previous one, +1 per Dark Slayer Ultimate Hero on the team. Bear in mind, 2 of my cards are Commander cards. So doing a quick bit of maths, that breaks 7 shields in total. And I believe the Umbrals have 8 shields, so yeah, I'm going to need to swap out the first relic just to break 1 more shield. That shouldn't be too difficult though. There we go, so I quickly did that. Now it breaks all 8 shields. Slightly lower damage though without the Legend Relic, but still hopefully pretty decent. So what other options are there? Well, there's a few options. Because this is an Arcane Killer event, you need cards that boost up Arcane Killer. So what you could try to start with is Circuit Break Hilaria. If you don't have the Freedom Fighters, then building something else is going to be essential, unfortunately. It's going to be quite difficult as well, but Circuit Break Hilaria could be a good option. If you have 2 copies of that as well, even better. Another option that you're probably expecting me to pull out is the Jailers. Again, since this has that boost that increases Arcane Killer attack by 1,200% every time you delay the turn, this could be extremely useful. obviously you're going to need to put delay cards on the team. I haven't looked at the current event deck as I don't own it yet. It might have a delay on it. I'm not sure yet. If it doesn't, then you're obviously going to need to put delay cards on the team. But anyway, that's what I'm using. There's a few other options you could try as well. So now we're going to get on with the event. I don't have too many gems, so I haven't really focused on the vault. Plus it's Slayer. I don't normally focus on the vault during Slayer. So here we go. Here's the event. Alright, so here's the actual event. It is a special event this time, so we have these feast mode bosses. You can see one on the screen. Now, if you have a decent team, you should be able to defeat any colour feast mode boss. You should probably kill them after they've been up for around 2 to 3 minutes. If you leave them any longer, then the next one doesn't spawn. But yeah, that's my recommendation. Leave it up for about 2 to 3 minutes, then kill it. So my team can take care of this, even though it's dark, and I can deal with it with one key. So here we go. It takes 3 turns though, as this team is dark, but you can still take care of it. So turn 1, that. Turn 2, area. Turn 3, basically left to right. Using the middle card last seems to be the most effective though, and using transformed Trailblazers third, as it spawns a lot of power gems. You'll see what I mean. Using that third, and then it seems to fill up the grid, then last like that, get a few loose power gems. That should take care of the boss pretty easily. Yeah, there we go. You need to get area going though, otherwise it won't take down the dark boss. With the other bosses it's not too difficult, but the dark one is quite tricky. Anyway, that's the feast mode bosses. They give the ingredients like so. I'll talk about that a bit later on in the video. Alright, so I'm going to try hitting the umbral here, even though it's not my own. See how much damage I could do to it. See, it is a 3-turn deck, but as long as you can get that nuke out before the boss dies, then you should hopefully get decent damage on the boss. We will see though here. What about matching quickly? Turn 1, match anything. Turn 2, use area. Turn 3, start activating the battle skills. Yeah, just get that nuke out before the boss dies, basically. Shouldn't be too hard as long as you pick bosses that only have 1 or 2 players on. That seems to be the general strategy for this anyway, or of course your own bosses. And that's quite a good match, as there was quite a few loose gems, as you saw. 1.4 key on the Freedom Fighters, and the nuke has hit. But now the boss is pretty much dead, unfortunately. That should give maybe 10%. Let's see. Yeah, 10% on that. But you can see how to use the team. You have to be quick, though. If you pick a boss that has a lot of players on already, then it's more than likely going to die before you get the nuke out. And then there's not much you can really do, unfortunately. Alright, so I have an Umbral boss up, and it's my own this time. So it should be a bit better for testing my team on. I have locked it as well. It's got a flatline on it, which doesn't really do anything, so it should be easy to deal with. I know one of the other bosses does have weaken on it. You do have to be a bit careful of weaken. But with this team, you can remove weaken anyway using area, which makes it a pretty decent team for this. But this one has flatline on it, so it shouldn't be any problem. I just need to try and get half of the health off and then rally it. This shows you what sort of damage you can do even with a weak killer skill, as long as you have the Freedom Fighters. The killer skill is only 600%. So again, turn 1, anything, turn 2, area. You have to do area on turn 2 as you need to take the hit from the enemy. And turn 3, do damage. Flatline was removed anyway by area, as you saw. I think that would probably do. Match that and then repeat the process. So yeah, the other skill on the enemy is Chaos, I believe. So you have Chaos, Weaken, and Flatline. Chaos can be annoying, actually. Flatline doesn't really do a lot, and Weaken, yeah, Weaken can be a pain, but also removed by area, so it's not that bad. This won't do as much damage, as not all the skills were active, but I'm going to do that hit anyway, and now I'll be able to use all the skills again and do a proper hit. Here we go. Right, flat line. There we go, let's match everything. 1.2Q, that's not bad. Then just repeat the process. So yeah, you can see how to use this team. It is a bit of a slow process, but it's not bad damage. Could be a lot worse. I think let's just do a hit when all the cards are active this time, just because it's a bit quicker. But yeah, this is how I'm using the team. As long as I get the Freedom Fighters nuke out, I should get at least 5% on any boss apart from Eternals. Yeah, I'm going to quit out in a minute though, as it's shown you what this team can do. It's going to take at least one more attack after this to defeat it anyway, I would have thought. Yeah, 1.5Q on the Freedom Fighters. Yeah, I'll do one more hit and quit out. I'm actually nearly taken off half the health, believe it or not. I might get half the health off if I do this other attack. That's not bad, actually. There's a lot of loose power gems there. This could be a good hit, despite not having all the cards active. Yeah, this will be the last one I can get out. Then I am going to quit out. Then I can see what sort of damage I have done to the boss. Should hopefully be reasonable damage, even if not spectacular. I think it's close to half anyway. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with this team, considering it's a 600% killer skill rather than the 900%. And it's all old cards, as with most of my Slayer teams. It's decent damage. There we go, final hit. There we go, now I can quit out. I have only 1 second left. So what's the damage? Let's have a look. 39Q, and it's got 37Q. So yeah, I did take off half the health after all. Now I can rally it to my friends and hopefully someone will finish it off for me. There we go. Boss rallied. Yes, that's not a bad attack at all. I'm pretty happy with that team, all things considered. Alright, so let's have a look at the Feast Mode feature. Or should I say Feast Mode 2 feature. So we have the usual buffs. 5 times recipe, 10-minute frenzy, frenzy guild bosses, that would be, and then the care package which comes to your mail. Let's go over to the other tabs. That's where the warden is. It's a water warden, so bear that in mind if you're going for it. Then it all depends on your guild and solo ranking to get the souls for this. A little bit strange. There's also a fire warden here. That has panic on it as its defender skill, which is kind of strange and not that effective. Let's go over to the solo section over here now. Right, so you can see here, that's where the souls are. You can get a maximum of 3 of each per day by the looks of it, so it's going to be very hard to take that up to 6 pink stars. And to be honest, I'm not going to be focusing too much on this, as it seems like it's too much work for what you get, if I'm being honest. It's an interesting idea though. We go back onto this screen. You can experiment as well and make various recipes. Let's just have a go. Oh, here we go. There's a lot of lag, basically. I don't know what happened there. I pressed it and nothing really happened. Oh, there we go. There's a delay on it, basically, when you press. So let's do that and just see what happens. Your guild should already have a bunch of known recipes, though. I just made a Thanksgiving mess. That was just to test it out. Oh, it's gone back onto that now. See, there's a bit of lag when pressing the buttons. So bear that in mind when you're doing this. And don't make a Thanksgiving mess like I just did. Right, so let's move on to the collection now I've done playing around with the Feast Mode 2 feature. Yeah, Legend Souls, one of the worst collections if I'm being honest. Not very exciting, unfortunately. I'll go ahead and claim all of this. Not really sure why this is still a collection, as these legends have very little use. No one uses them in the legend trials anymore, as they're not needed, and they don't have any use elsewhere either, so I can't see the point of this collection if I'm being honest. In the Guild Supremacy as well, probably, yeah. The Twin Flame Gift, and then... oh, a 6-star armor, that's not bad. And then 1 pink star, the Endless at the bottom. Not overly exciting rewards, unfortunately. Hopefully we'll get better collections than this in the future. Maybe even stop giving this collection, as it's not really useful to any of the players, if I'm being honest. It's probably about as useful as that gold collection. Alright, so let's have a look at what it is this time around. Either a warden or a dragoon. Oh, it's a light warden, okay. Oh, it's got a burger on the card. Interesting. Are the burgers to represent its battle skill? Defender skill, Power Gem, Silence. Counter skill, Dispel Toxin. Yeah, it's light, and light is the worst kind of warden in my opinion. Too many decent dark-based attack teams. Even if you took this up to 6 pink stars, it would probably still get killed pretty easily. So probably a warden to avoid if I'm being honest, but the burger's pretty cool on the battle skill. So I'm going to have a quick look at the news feed. I did see something interesting here about guild switching. After switching guilds, you won't be able to see previously crafted recipes, so you may want to make a note of any recipes of interest if you're going to change guilds during the event. And now there's something different with the Thanksgiving Ultimate Hero. Gives an extra 100% attack by the looks of it. That's interesting. Slight change to what it originally was, even though I didn't really look at the event deck or ultimate form. But I'm going to do that right now, so here we go. Let's go over to the Vault page. The ultimate form. Creates power gems, heals, giving 50% Dark Slayer attack increase for 1 turn. Oh, it's a 1 turn cooldown as well. And a passive on it. That's interesting. Yeah, it definitely needs a boost to the card by the looks of it. It's likely going to be quite weak on its own. It's also got that burger, as the Warden had. So yeah, Jailers or possibly Circuit Break Hilaria. Good options, I think, if you don't have the Freedom Fighters. Then I'll quickly have a look at the 2 individual cards. Now, I'm struggling to get this card. I have no idea where you can get that from. It's an old main hero. I don't have it, unfortunately. So I can't get that last coin. I have no plans to forge the deck anyway, but it would have been useful to get it for the extra coin, I guess. Freddy Flavor. Sorcerer of Spice. Heals for 300% hero recovery and prepares a dish. If there is already a prepared dish, finishes the dish, giving 50% Dark Slayer attack. Now that's a little bit confusing to read. That's what the individual card does. Then I'm going to guess the other card does the other parts of the ultimate form. Yeah, similar to the previous card, giving 50% Dark Slayer attack. The ultimate form only 50% as well. Yeah. It looks pretty much the same, to be honest. That's really strange. It might be worth just getting one of the cards, or just avoiding this deck. I don't know. It's difficult to say. It's a weird deck. I can't really say too much about it without testing it out, unfortunately. And there we go. That's the end of this video. I hope that was helpful. As always, if you do have any questions or suggestions regarding this video, please let me know in the comments and I'll do my best to help. If you did enjoy this video, leaving a like and subscribing is always appreciated. Thank you to those that have already subscribed, and thanks for watching.